What's up, gamers, YouTubers out there? This is Infernal Shard 1 for the win. So, just literally straight out of the blue, we actually have gotten the PlayStation 5 controller, and I am about to show you guys about what it looks like, and we're going to read all the details that Sony has provided us for the PlayStation 5 controller, and I'm going to give you guys on my take on the PS5 controller itself, and what do I honestly think about it. But I'll start off with a little bit of something. It just looks kind of funky to me. We don't really officially know, how it's going to fit our hands, but I don't know, it just looks a little bit strange. And I even had this one YouTuber that I watched do a demonstration of the controller too. He even think it was strange in a way, but he said he's going to give it a shot, which I personally am too. But here we are with it saying, we're on the PlayStation blog, and it says, introducing DaulSense. So Sony has announced that it's basically not called DualShock 5. That's what we were all hoping that it was going to be, because if you really think about it, this controller that you see on my webcam on the top is the DualShock 4, and the previous controllers that Sony has released with their systems have always been DualShock until we got the DualShock 4. But yeah, from now on it's a new name, as you guys can tell. It is called DaulSense, the new wireless game controller for PS5, and we already have 3,402 likes on it, and we have 732 comments on it, but this is from the PlayStation blog, and it was only been out for a couple hours. But this is what the controller looks like. I will go over here and show you guys the controller on the whole photo. But right here is the controller, as you guys can see. That is how the controller looks. I like the color design of it, like how it's black at the bottom and white on both of the sides, and then the black buttons on the triggers. I really do like that type of style, but I just don't like the way that it's going to feel, in my honestly opinion. But that is right there, the PS5 controller that Sony has announced. So I'm going to read everything that they have said today, and we're going to, we're going to read all this that they have done. It says, we've reached out excitingly milestone with the PS5 as we are starting to ship our new controller to its final design to developers who are implementing its unique features into their games. But first, we wanted everyone in the PlayStation community to get a first look at the DaulSense wireless controller and hear our vision of how the new controller will compatibilate more of your sense as you interact with the virtual worlds in PS5 games. The features of DaulSense, along with PS5's Tempest 3D audio tech, we deliver a new feeling of immersion to players. When PS4 launched back in 2013, the DualShock 4 wireless controller granted a lot of positive feedback from gamers and developers for being the best PlayStation controller yet. And truthfully, out of the PS1 and 2 and 3 controllers, I honestly do think that the PS4 controllers are literally so far the best controllers that Sony has ever created. So, and for introducing forward-looking features like the share button, this brought us to the next question. How do we build upon our success? And so, honestly, it does look kind of similar to the PlayStation 4 controller, but there are some little bits that I just don't honestly like, but we're going to continue after this. So, after thoughtful consideration, we decided to keep much of what gamers love about DualShock 4 intact, while also adding new functionality and refining the design based on our discussions with developers. We concluded the sense of touch within gameplay, much like audio, hasn't been a big focus for many games. We had a great opportunity with PlayStation 5 to innovate by offering game creator and the ability to explore how they can heighten that feeling of immersion. Through our new controller, this is why we adopt haptic feedback, which adds a variety of powerful sensations, or however you pronounce it, you'll feel when you play, such as a slow gritness of like driving a car through mud. We also incorporate adaptive triggers into the L2 and R2 buttons of DaulSense, so you can truly feel the tension of your actions, like when drawing a bow, I mean to say, to shoot an arrow. Honestly, like I said, I personally don't really like the way it looks, but we won't know until it comes out. Who knows? When I get my hands on that controller, it'll probably be like the best controller that I've ever felt, but as I'm stating, I just don't think I'm going to like it. So this provided us with an exciting challenge to design a new controller that builds off of the current generation while taking into account the new features we were adding. For example, with adaptive triggers, we had to consider how the components would fit into the hardware without giving a bulky feeling. Our design team worked closely with our hardware engineers to place the triggers and actuators, or however you pronounce the word. The designers were then able to draw the lines of how the exterior of the controller would look and feel, with a challenge of making the controller feel smaller than it really looks. In the end, we changed an angle of the hand triggers and also made some subtle updates to the grip. We also took throughout consideration into ways to maintain a strong battery life for DaulSense rechargeable battery, and to lessen the weight of the controller as much as possible as new features were added. Now, I honestly do like the fact that with the PS5 controller, we basically are not going to have like 7 to 8 or 9 hours of just battery life like we did with this controller. But even still then, 7, 8, 9 hours of battery life is still a pretty decent amount of time to play. And if you really think about it, it's actually a lot more better than the way the Nintendo Switch's battery life is. And right here is my Nintendo Switch. As you can see, the battery life doesn't even last as half as a PS4 controller would last, is what I'm trying to say. The battery lives on most Nintendo Switches out in the world right now is only 3 hours. And a PS4 controller can last up to about 8 to 9 hours, so not even half. So, yeah, but that is one thing I will give Sony credit on, is they have extended the battery life, but I still don't see it being a big issue, which I know a lot of people did, and sorry about that noise, that was my Xbox. But I just don't honestly see a problem with the PlayStation 4 controllers at all with their battery life. I just don't see it. So, moving on. For the buttons, you'll notice there is no longer a share button as we had with DualShock 4, which that was the button that you would basically make YouTube videos, game clips as YouTube videos and screenshots and such, was with the share button. Don't worry, it's not going away. In fact, we built upon the success of the industry first share button to bring you a new creative button feature with Create. We're once again pioneering whatever that word's called, new ways for players to create epic gameplay content to share with the world or just enjoy for themselves. We have more details on this feature as we get closer to the launch. Now, there is one thing that I honestly do like about the PlayStation 4, and it's one of the reasons why I think the PS4 is the complete better overall best console of this generation. The Xbox One was a pretty good console. I'm still very thankful for it, and especially the Xbox One X. Like, games look so freaking gorgeous. Like, both of the Red Dead Redemption games play at native 4K. The games look really great, and that's the most powerful console right now on the market. But with the PS4, the one thing I really liked about it is you basically have the option to record and capture game clips and put them on YouTube, which that is one of the big reasons why I have so many YouTube videos and so many great videos with a decent amount of views, and then a few select videos that got like a crap ton of views. Like, the PlayStation 4 basically improved up on my YouTube channel really a lot, and I'm really, really thankful for it. But with the PS5, there is one thing that I'm really, really am hoping for. Like, with the standard PS4, when you broadcast and record game clips, you only master the video at 720p. But if you have a PS4 Pro, you basically are recording and mastering the video at 1080p. But what I'm actually hoping with the PS5 is that it actually records way better, with games playing so much smoother than how the PS4, even I don't think that the PS4 records completely bad, but I know that it only records at like somewhere around the middle 20s to like 30 frames per second. But if the PS5 can literally record your game clip at native 4K and 60 frames or even 30 frames, oh my gosh, I would be so freaking happy, and that'll be one good thing improved on my YouTube channel. But we'll just have to wait and see and find out. But that is one thing that I'm hoping they improved on for the PS5, and we still have the option to record game clips and directly upload them to either YouTube, Twitter, or Facebook, or whatever like we've had on the PS4, which that is really amazing. So next up is DaulSense also adds a built-in microphone array, which will enable players to easily chat with friends without headset. I have to honestly say, I'm kind of really liking this idea that you could basically just talk through your controller and people can hear you, and you can hear them through that speaker that you can actually see right there above the PlayStation icon between the analog sticks. That honestly is another good feature that they did add. I will give them credit for that. Ideal for jumping into a quick conversation, but of course you are planning to chat for a long period of a good to have a handset a long period of time is what I think they meant to say. It's good to have that headset handy. I really do have to give them very, very credit for that. That is really, really smart for them to do. Now, let's talk about the colors traditionally. Our base controllers have a single color. As you can see, we went a different direction this time around and decided on a two-tone design. Additionally, we changed the pattern of the light bar that will give an extra pop. On DualShock 4. It sat to the top the controller. Now it sits at each side of the touchpad, giving it a slightly large look and feel. That also, I can also say, is another freaking amazing feature that the DualShock 5, well, DualSense is what I mean to say. I don't know. It's going to take me a minute to freaking call it DualSense. It's literally going to take me a minute to get used to calling it DualSense instead of DualShock, because we were all basically assuming that it was going to be DualShock 5. So it's going to take me a minute. So, but yeah, I meant DualSense. And all we went through several concepts and hundreds of mock-ups, or however you pronounce that word. Over the last few years before we settled on the final design, DualSense has been tested by a wide range of gamers with a variety of hand sizes in order for us to achieve the comfort level we wanted. With great ergonomics our goal with DaulSense is to give gamers the feeling of being transported into the game world. As soon as they open the box, we want gamers to feel like the controller is an extension of themselves when they're playing. So much so that they forget that it's even in their hands. Now, that a little bit, I don't understand a little bit about that, but I do have to, I'm going to have to give him credit on that, because that honestly does sound a little bit amazing, but like I said, we're just going to have to wait. We are thrilled about sharing the final look of the DaulSense controller with our fans, and we can't wait for everyone to get their hands on it. Like Too Close with a message from SIE President and CEO Jim Ryan to the community. And that's basically all there is. So, I'm going to give my takes on the controller itself, okay? The one good thing that I really like, I'll start off with the things that I do like about it. The stuff that I do like about it is that it has a built-in microphone. That's one thing that I like about it. 2 is the extended battery life, which that's another thing. And 3, I like on the touchpad on both sides that you could basically see the light bar inside the controller. That is also another great thing. And then also the 4th thing that I really, really like about the controller is the color design, with it being shiny white and a little bit black on the bottom part, and also the analog, or the triggers, I mean. But I just don't know what I want to say about this controller. I'm just sitting here and I'm looking at it, and it just looks very strange and very weird. It's so completely new design that Sony has ever created. But there is one thing that I do like about what Sony has confirmed, and they have said this back, I think around the end of 2019, that if you basically don't like the DaulSense controller, thank goodness I didn't say DualShock 5 because I was about to, but they did confirm that if you don't like the DualSense controller, the PS4 DualShock 4 will be compatible with PlayStation 5. And if you do like the DualSense controller and you still like to game on PlayStation 4, they also have confirmed that it will be compatible with PlayStation 4, which that to me is really, really smart of Sony to do. But as of looking at this controller right now, I just don't know what I want to say about it. It just looks a little bit weird and strange, but we'll just have to wait and find out when the console launches this holiday 2020 or early 2021 of next year, which most likely it's a big possibility that they're going to be getting delayed. But as of right now, this right here is the PlayStation 5 controller that Sony has basically confirmed. And they also stated that we will be showing the console design in the coming up months, which I honestly do see them showing off the console, or just doing like they did, you know, just showing a picture of it. I can honestly see them doing that either sometime next month or sometime in June. Before long, we will get our eyes on what the console is going to look like, and also the pricing, and also pre-orders here before long. But if I honestly don't like that controller, as I mentioned, I am most likely going to keep using the DualShock 4 on my PlayStation 5. And like I said, if I don't like the DualSense controller, what I'm going to most likely do is I'm most likely going to go to either GameStop or go to a pawn shop, and I'm going to buy like 20 different DualShock 4s, and I'm going to keep them for the 7 years of the PlayStation 5's life cycle until we get a PlayStation 6, if that ever comes. So we're just going to have to wait and see, but my thoughts on the PS5 controller, I just don't know what I want to think about it. It just doesn't look like it'll be really that comfortable to me, but who knows, like I said, when it comes out, it might be the best controller I've ever filled, but all we're just going to have to do is wait and see when the PlayStation 5 launches. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys could, smack the like button and also comment down below of your thoughts about the PS5 controller. If you think that it looks amazing, or if you think that you don't like it and you're going to stick with your PS4 DualShock 4 controller, just send me down in the comment section down below of your thoughts about the PS5 controller, or if you're just going to use your DualShock 4 and you don't think you're going to like it like me. And also subscribe to the YouTube channel if you guys are new, and I would keep you guys posted on new content in the future. So, yeah. So, rate, comment, and subscribe, and we will catch you guys on the next video.